It's time for some infiltration. It's a topic, it's a term that I developed from learning how to sell, how to become a salesman. And I know a lot of people view that term in a negative light, and it's one of the topics that I'm going to talk a lot about, and it's that stop worrying about things. They just don't matter. Why is infiltration bad? Why can't it be good? What if you infiltrated, like the example I gave last night, a house where two kids are literally locked up in a basement for the first 12 years of their life, and you gave them information that actually made them realize that the world is a beautiful place, and all of a sudden their world and life changes. You infiltrated, but you did a light action. You see, it's all about the action, the light action. That's the key to everything. Your dark motivation was there, right? I'm going to get these parents, but you did a light action. The problem when people get lost is that they have either a dark motivation, dark action, or light motivation, light action. It just doesn't work. You have to have the dark motivation for light action. So I infiltrated basically, my job as a salesman, I would consider, especially once I got to the medical software corporate level, was I infiltrated countless healthcare facilities, hospitals, and I befriended multiple people, and I just learned everything about them, about their organization, about their place. And there's one thing that I realized is that in every single place that I worked or I investigated and infiltrated is that I got really good at seeing where the issues were. I just became very analytical and analyzed, and I could see which already the employees that were problematic, who was exploiting, who's not. I could just catch it instantly. But one of the things that I found the most interesting was that you could just tell the energy vibe of each place, and there were truly some places that I knew for a fact were human ranches. They were just energy loosh farms. That they were just literally exploiting everyone there, and they were exploiting their customers. They're exploiting everyone in the vicinity, and the bosses were just very toxic and negative, and terrible working conditions, no breaks. And it just got to a point where I'm just like, okay, I don't understand why they have to be that way, but I just felt like it wasn't my place. It wasn't my place to actually be the one to say something. But now it is. So for example, I've heard and seen that a lot of the Mexican government has work conditions that are just not very favorable, specifically money-wise. They underpay significantly. And the reason for that is because they want to keep more of the energy for themselves, right? Like we talked about how money is energy. So if money is energy and time, right? The more you keep for yourself, the more of it you have. And if you're serving the dark one, the dark lord, you could even just think of it, if you don't want to think about it from a spiritual entity, just think of it as the president of Mexico, right? Or the cartel leaders or something of that nature, right? You want to keep more of it for yourself. That's the whole point. So one of the things that I've noticed is that countries like that, what they do is, for example, if they're operating here in the United States, let's say Mexican embassies or consulates, is that they actually have terrible work conditions because they need to create more of that energy. They need to have those situations. So I tell you, why do we accept that? Once we start understanding that those things are happening, why can't we just create a situation where the environment changes? What if those bosses, they're like, we can't, there's no way, because it's the Mexican government in Mexico, they're the ones who control it. So we can't make a change. Really? Are they there enforcing it? Are they physically present being like, no, there's no way, you can't do this? What if literally everyone showed up to work at the Mexican consulate and they're just cheering? There's a party, there's music, there's just how do they know? And if they do know, why? Then you ask yourself, why don't they want everyone happy? Why don't they want everyone celebrating? Why don't they want the workers actually feeling good? So if you can't make it your reality, just think about it. Let's go away from the Mexican consulate. And just every single organization, every single company, every single nonprofit, every single school, if your leaders don't let you create such an environment, no music, let's say even in prison, let's get the prison reforms. You can't have music. You can't turn off the lights. We have to keep the prisoners in terrible situations. I ask you, why? Why does that have to be that way? Try it out. Go against it. What, are they going to punish you? If they punish you for helping someone, they punish you for doing something good for someone, and you need to pay attention to that. Ask, why would anyone punish someone else for helping someone? Hey, right now, there's literally a homeless dude around the corner that hasn't eaten anything in 5 days, and he might actually get sick and die. And I give him a sandwich that I was going to throw away because I'm full. I ordered too much food. I do that. And all of a sudden, 6 people run up to me and start beating me up. Ask yourself, why would they do that? To me, it tells me that they want to kill that homeless person. They want that person to fall down completely. So think about it like that and work. So you can think about it, if the homeless example makes sense, why does it not make sense at companies, at works, at schools, at anything, any organization, any place where we gather as a group of people? If the environment is not conducive to passion, happiness, energy recovery, like you should be able to heal. Like imagine if we created an organization where we're trying to heal the ocean or the environment. And while we're in that, everyone gets to choose like their favorite song that they want to play. There's just group conversation. We listen to each other. We're helping each other out. It's like, hey, how are we going to work on curing the Atlantic Ocean, like the heating issues, like the sharks are having issues, the turtles, like what can we do? And everyone's just strategizing together. Everyone's laughing, everyone's talking, and progress is being made. The best town is working together versus everyone's just competing against each other. No one's worried anymore about pay. They're worried about results of actually improving the world, because guess what? The government now decides, hey, you don't have to worry about rent anymore. You don't have to worry about food. You don't have to worry about water. You don't have to worry about electricity. You don't have to worry about internet. And you can get to a situation where you can work on your passion. Now, there's going to be more that has to be discovered there. I don't have all the answers. And that's where you come in, right? All those people that are experts in these areas that I don't have all the answers to, we need to get together and we need to start brainstorming like, okay, how could we improve the economic situation? How can we reform prisons? Why do they have to be that way? What if it's not about time? What if it's about rehabilitation? What if it's about, hey, literally someone gets in because they made a huge mistake. They actually didn't just have a dark motivation, they did a dark action, right? So we realize that they're going to be dangerous. I think there's still a better answer than prison, but let's just say, right? And we put them in there, and within 3 days, they learned a lesson. They're away from their child. They're away from their wife. They're away from their parents. They feel sad. And the entire time we have someone like myself or other people that are literally just bombarding them with healing, changing their perspective, changing their view. And within 3 days, they're like, I can't believe, and they realize that actually the only reason they became that way was because they got influenced by the Dark One. Now we break the hold that the Dark One has on them, and they finally can see clearly again. The fog that was blocking their eyes is gone. And they just are like, I have no idea why I even did that. Within 3 days, we can let them out. But in those 3 days, it's actually, we created a paradise for them. And they just don't understand, like, why I feel like I'm almost like rewarded here. Like I'm living in, there's green plants everywhere. Like there's nature. We're going on nature walks. Like we have water. We're eating good food. They're teaching me how to cook. Like, imagine we just taught people how to live right actions in a better life instead of just punishing them and reinforcing them negatively. Like what could happen, right? That's just an idea that I came up with on the spot. Now imagine if we had a group of people, thousands and thousands and millions of people all collaborating to make a new system that could solve that. Because now we're not worried about survival. Now we're worried about creating paradise. Now we're worried about making the best world that we possibly can. Oh, shit, I didn't record this. It's okay. It's on stream. It's perfect though. Doesn't matter. So all of a sudden, I don't need to have that. So all of a sudden, I lost my train of thought because of that, but it's good. I said enough about that. It's actually a good break.